Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. Sunday evening, time for some more Gearhead interactive live chat. Looks like Facebook is connected and YouTube actually connected on time tonight instead of 3 or 4 minutes and multiple attempts later. It looks like we are live and going on both formats. Holy cow, that's kind of crazy. The way these last several weeks have been, it hasn't exactly been a piece of cake connecting here lately, but looks like we're going tonight and ready to go. Neil's here with us. JP made it back tonight. Kevin L is here. Pete is on. Kenny Peterson's here. So anyway, there's Tim. Lots of stuff happening tonight. Austin made it tonight. Here we go for full episode. All right, Austin's on, ready to go. We're going to give away some stuff tonight in the raffle. We're talking about the new raffle. We're going to auction stuff off. We got all kinds of cool stuff going on. Jim's here. Dispatch Brian made it. So exciting night. And I hope you guys are all going to have fun. We try to make it fun, at least. It doesn't always work out that way, but we sure try. Ryan and Amy are here with us. As always, please double check your autocorrect before you hit your comment to send. Make sure it didn't change it to something that I can't make out, because I will have to skip it. I try to catch most comments. I miss some of them, but if I can't understand it, I have to skip it. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the only two sets of comments I can see. If you want to hang out over there and watch, you're perfectly fine, but please remember I cannot see those comments. Jeff from Ottawa's here. David W. made it back. Super chats are always great. We've got the supercharged super chat badge over here warming up and ready to go. We've got the Hudson badge ready to rock and roll tonight. We got the Auburn badge ready to go. Hey, Leo made it back tonight. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate that. Dennis Chapman. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls on here. We do Pete and Kevin help us out running them off. But you guys do a great job of helping out too, making sure they know they're not welcome. And ads. We are dealing with ads, unfortunately. That's something out of our control. It's YouTube system, and they're going to put them on there. There's nothing we can do about it other than work around them. Joe made it tonight on Facebook. Anyhow, so what's been going on in everybody's week? I know my week turned crazy again as usual, but I had some stuff pop up that I didn't know was going to pop up, but I got them drug in. Unfortunately, they got seriously damaged before I got them because they were going in for scrap, but we got them here. So we got a few things to talk about with new inventory. John Anderson made it tonight. Billy Bowman's here with us. But first off, if you guys caught the post, Pete put a post up. We have officially started with the quote-unquote training of what I do. Pete is signed up. Bill Disk is signed up. We got together on a members exclusive live Thursday night. So if you are interested in that, it is officially rolling. Pete put a post up on the NoBuddies page on Facebook about it. And we're going to try to get together every other week and talk about everything. Basically our first entire session was talking about a deal of parts that Bill Disk was looking at. And like we said, the intention of this is to make a few bucks, learn it and make a few bucks. I think we probably helped save Bill some money from buying a bunch of stuff that would have taken him years to maybe even just get his money back on. Camper Jack here. So he sent me pictures of it. We looked at it. We spent most of the first session just going over that deal. So, we're going to talk about all the different aspects of what I do as far as buying inventory, hauling inventory, storing, shipping, packaging, advertising, all that stuff. But that's some of the stuff. I mean, pretty much the whole time we talked about and looked at this stuff that Bill Disk was thinking about buying, that I personally didn't think it was worth what they were asking, based on there was a lot of volume, but there wasn't a lot of value. So the volume looked great, but the value was pretty minimal. So that type of stuff happens sometimes as well. So if it's something you're thinking about, it is up and running. We had our first session. If you join that membership group, you always have access to those videos. So even if you join tonight, you can go back and watch what we did Thursday night. Obviously, you can't participate live, but when you're in that group, you have access to that specific cluster of videos that is that membership group's only content. So, hey, there's Balin Wire made it. Sam's here. Jim made it. Yeah, that was a good picture that Pete posted. That's true. Yeah. So that was a pretty funny picture. So if it's something you're thinking about, get with me and get into that group, because we are moving forward with it. There was 5 or 6 people that expressed interest in it. We've got 2 people signed up. So if you're interested, it's time to get in and be part of the group and see if we can all learn something. Hopefully you guys caught the video the other night from another buddy of mine's place that I went to. The A100 pickup was really cool. The Dodge Coupe was really cool. If you guys didn't catch that video, go back and check that out. We'll be shooting some more content out there next time I'm around. I had to go out and get an El Camino from him here a few weeks ago. So we did that short video while I was there. But he's probably got 60, 80 cars out there. So we've got some more cool stuff that we're going to be sharing with you from that place as well. John's here. So I hope you enjoyed that with a little bit different content, a little bit different scenery. And we're going to be bringing you some more cool stuff from there as well. '78 F-250 update. Yeah, that's a very good point, Kenny. I think that could pretty much ring true for about any of us. So, my dad's buddy's still working on it. He's fixing all kinds of little things on it. He's finding all kinds of little things he don't like, so he's just fixing them. I did get new tires for it this week, so I need to get the wheels and either get them painted or get them blasted and get them powder coated. Haven't figured out what we're doing on that yet. But professor to my titles, yeah, I don't know if we'd quite get that carried away with it, but the '78 F-250 is coming along, still ticking along a lot further than it's gotten the last couple of years. So pretty excited about that, and going to be out hopefully shagging some cars with that pickup and doing some content while we are hauling the using the old '78 F-250 to do some hauling. So that's going to be kind of fun. It's going to be kind of a flashback for me back to when I was a kid hauling them with Dad's old F-250. So that's exciting. One thing we touched on last week, the merchandise that Pappy has put together for us. License plates and mugs. We got koozies and some other things, but most of the interest was in the plates and the mugs. I did get a handful of orders this week. If you guys want any of this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one order in so that, Pappy's not dealing with 10 different orders. And I'd like to have most of it. There's a big job. I'd like to get the order in here in the next week or 10 days so that anybody physically coming to the gathering will be able to pick it up. Then whatever, the people that aren't coming to the gathering, I can start working that in with their auction shipments and things like that, so that we're not shipping one mug and one plate, here and there and everywhere else. So if you're interested, haven't decided yet, Brian. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with that fender. But I do know a guy that has a body shop here in town that he wants a vehicle I've got. So I don't know. We may get some body work done on it too here in the near future after we get done with everything else. So if you're interested in a license plate or a mug, they're $15 a piece. I'm just going to I'm gathering up the orders, and then I will just pay Pappy in one bulk and then have him ship everything to me. So be thinking about that. If you're interested, the guys that have already ordered, I appreciate it. I've got your receipts printed off so that I can give a full count to Pappy. Alex here with us on Facebook, and hopefully get that stuff here before the gathering. So if you're interested, let me know, or go ahead and send it to PayPal. Just make sure you designate on the PayPal of what it's for, so we can get that order put in here hopefully sooner rather than later. Because April 26th will be here before you know it. It is literally right around the corner. It is going to be April 1st on Tuesday. So what that means is basically we are right at a month out. as of yesterday. Yesterday was 4 weeks out. And that is not going to take long to go by. Briggs made it. Michael Brown's here. So, like I said, realistically, I need to get that order into Pappy here probably in the next 10 days so we can get this stuff printed and get it shipped to us. Because April 26th is going to sneak up and be right here around the corner. Pete put a new update up on the NoBuddies page on Facebook. We've got a good solid list. Yes, correct. That is correct. Big job. 15 apiece on the mugs and plate. I was going to mention that and I forgot. So, yep. And Alec just asked the same question. I was going to go over that again and I forgot. 15 apiece on for the plates or the mugs. If you want a couple, I mean, just tell me how many of each, and I'll get them printed off with the receipts of the guys that ordered this week, and we'll sure get those get that order off to Pappy. Everything is looking as expected for the gathering. So far, so good. We're working on a few different ideas. I don't know if they're going to come together yet or not, so I don't want to promise anything, but we're talking about a couple of different ideas that kind of try to work in there. Hudson badge. We don't have a lot of extra time, but there's Mary. We're going to try to do maybe a few other different things. We'll just see how it shakes out. But we're like I said, if we can make it better and grow it, that's what we want to try to do. So we're working towards that, and maybe we can slide something else in here or there. But regardless, we still have our pretty much basic format locked down. Brewery Friday evening, Flatlanders Pizza. Yard Saturday morning, and then into town at my shops, and then to Dad's shops to look at cars there. And then, of course, back to the brewery. The automotive trivia, we don't have it nailed down yet, but Ryan said we'll get it figured out. He's an IT guy. He said he knows how to do that. What we need to make sure we get nailed down is you guys that can't make it, if you want to participate in the automotive trivia that night at the brewery with us live, is seeing how we can make that link work. So that's what we're working on. And but it's there again, should be a great time. It was last year, like everybody says. Hopefully it doesn't snow this year. I still can't believe it was 75 and sunny on Friday, 40 and snow on Saturday, and 75 and sunny on Sunday, but that happens sometimes. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that we get a little bit better weather this year. And regardless, I know it's going to be a great time, even with the group that we've got locked in right now that are planning on coming. I know it's going to be fun. Jack's with us on Facebook. So, yeah, if you want to get in to the group, be sure to jump on and email Pete, get your $20 in to reserve your spot. There's some more information on the NoBuddies Facebook page. If you're not on there, jump on there and answer the questions and get in the group so you can keep up with what's going on. It ought to be a good weekend. I know last year it was a heck of a lot of fun. Kenny's going to get his flight booked this week. Awesome, Kenny. I don't know if you've been in touch with Bill or where you're going to be flying into. But I think Bill's coming into Hayes. Yeah, I know. Heather's up there a little bit blurry, but we got to kind of work with that. So I actually, I'm trying to think of what I should do because the gathering is coming up. Buick man made it. I got to protect Heather. I don't want somebody sneaking in here and sneaking out with Heather. We couldn't have that. We'll have to put a cage around her or something so nobody walks off with a Heather picture. I'm just kidding, but it is funny. So we'll see what happens. But I know it was a great time last year. Steve made it. Just bought a Javelin SST with a 4-speed. That's sweet. You don't ever see those things. Pete's gonna stand guard. Yeah, it is still screwed to the wall, but Andy says he'll take care of her. Pete's going to stand guard. So, yeah, there's a couple screws in the frame. So, but there's also a lot of screwdrivers around here too. So, it's great though. We have more fun with that picture than anything. So, are you coming up then to the gathering, Steve? I haven't heard anything out of you. Whether you guys are going to come up for the gathering April 26th or not. You're close. Took the convertible out for even though it was rainy. That's all right. Yeah, I bet so. Randy Weininger made it. April 26th, Steve, the Gathering of the NoBuddies. I don't know if you've seen the post on Facebook or not. Are you and your brother on the NoBuddies page, Steve? Their information is on there as well. So Heather's the new traveling trophy. I don't know how well that would work. Gary in Ohio about to get hit with big weather. I've seen a huge system out that way. So anyway, if you want to make it that weekend, be sure to get with Pete. Get your slot reserved. Okay, give me a call, Steve, so I can get you guys down, see how many of you are coming, because we've got it's $20 a head, and that includes lunch and everything. Eric Roseberry made it. So give me a holler this week, Steve, so we make sure we get you down and see if your brother's going to come, or how many of you guys want to come up for the gathering in that weekend of April 26th. So, but anyway, the more of us that show up, the merrier. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, there we go. Perfect. Pete's email address is up there. So that, or give me a shout in the morning, Steve. I usually got a bunch of loose ends to tie up as soon as I get done at night. So tomorrow evening would probably be better. So I'm still waiting on somebody to find out who's bringing Janet. I'm wondering the same thing. Big job. So if anybody's got Janet that's going to accompany them here to help out with the weekend, I'm all ears. So nobody has committed yet, but I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that somebody shows up with Janet. Yeah, no problem, Steve. And you can send an email to Pete at that Bad Boy Chevrolet's Gmail account to get the updated email information too. So, but regardless, I mean, we're already having a great time talking about it, so we know that it's going to be a great weekend. Dad's here with us tonight. Jeff, earthquake in Northern California? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. They can keep it out there. So if we're having this much fun with it already, we know it's going to be a great weekend. We know we're going to have beer at the brewery, Flatlanders pizza. I did not go to any license plate meetings lately. I honestly, Kenny, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you one bit, Kenny. So anyway, but Kenny, I don't know if you looked at where you're going to fly into, because I think Bill is coming into Hayes. So I didn't know what your flight options were, or if you had looked into where you were going to be coming into, or if you come into Salina. Glenn is in Salina, and might be able to help us out there too. So just curious as to what things are looking like for you, Kenny. Wichita, okay, that's 100 miles, so that's not too terrible either. So anyway, that's all coming together, and it's going to be a ton of fun. A month away yesterday. So 4 weeks off. We've got 4 weeks before the gathering. It's going to be fun. I haven't done anything. I asked a few times if anybody wanted me to get a block of rooms. I did get a block last year, Balin Wire, and then about 3 people stayed there, and everybody else went different places. So if there is, I don't know. So a few guys had a block of the Best Western last year, and a handful of guys stayed there. Kevin made it tonight. I don't know if some of you guys are staying at the Best Western again, or if anybody has a group where they're staying somewhere else. I'm not really sure. Because when I asked a few times, nobody really acted like they wanted to get a block this year, so I didn't do it. So, or Balin Wire's coming through Kansas City. That's a great option too. I hadn't thought about that with you guys coming right from that area. If somebody had a flight into KC, so appreciate you throwing that out there. So if you've got some questions, Balin Wire, you can always holler at me this week, and I'll give you some suggestions. But that's why we never really put a hotel list out there. So, okay, so Pete is at the Best Western again. I know Tractor Mike has stayed there the last few times he's been in town, and it was really nice. So thanks, Pete. I appreciate you throwing that up there. That's a great idea. So Austin staying at the Super 8 by the Walmart, and that's a pretty good hotel too. So, so a couple of different options, and those hotels are about 3 blocks from each other. So they're, not terribly far away. They're both good options, and I think they're both relatively fairly priced. There is a pretty new Holiday Inn Express. It was typically one of the higher ones in town, but I think the Super 8 or the Best Western were both pretty decent deals for the rooms you got. So thanks for throwing that out there, guys. That way it kind of lets some of the other people know where to possibly look. So sounds great, Kenny. Sounds like a plan to me. Just hopefully everything works out on a flight. So looking forward to it. Anyway, getting excited about the gathering here, just kind of rolling with it. But maybe Steve and maybe his brother, maybe his dad, maybe they can all make it up too. Be great to you guys get to meet some of them too. That's the whole purpose. Meet everybody, have a great time, check out some stuff, eat some pizza, drink some beer, look at some cars. But onward and upward to old cars. I know some of you guys have subscribed to old cars. I personally like it. We talk about it on here quite a bit. Angelo's been on here with us, the editor, several times. You bet, Kenny. We're looking forward to you being here. Angelo has worked with us several times on here. We had his Duesenberg book. Where'd I put my copy at? The Duesenberg SSJ that Angelo wrote. He donated one of these to the raffle one time. And he is the editor for Old Cars, so I do work with him quite a bit. Now, I'm in Kansas City this year. We went, obviously I bought my little Maserati Town and Country convertible there. Me and Tractor Mike went. Our good buddy Alan from Augusta was there. I thought we were going to have a pretty good group of nobodies there, and then it just flat didn't work out. Kevin L. did make it. Got to spend a little time with Kevin L. Pete was going to come, and his fell apart that week. Austin was going to come. It fell apart that week. So I thought we were going to have 4 or 5 nobodies there, but it literally everybody's schedule went haywire. So Kevin L. did make it. But however, in the new April 1st issue of Old Cars with the Cougar on the front is the Kansas City Mecum article. Kevin L. did help pick some of these cars that are in the article. Are you subscribed, Kevin? Have you started getting Old Cars? Because if you did, you should have this by now. Scott's here with us. Gremlins are cool. That Thunderbird was a knockout. God, that car was crazy clean. Okay, sounds good, Kevin. The International that Jim Wicks bought for one of his clients, we did a video on that car. WS6 convertible, obviously I had to include that in the article. Dart, a really nice 383 Dart convertible. I think that was on Kevin's list actually that we wrote up. Ford pickups, 79 F250, all original truck. And this is crazy. 79 F350 Lariat 4x4, dark jade green, Wimbledon white, and it was loaded up. It was weird. It had all kinds of options, but the truck did not have air, which was, I thought, really odd. And if you're interested, you can go look these up on Kansas City's Mecum website. But just a very, very original truck. Nice interior. Paint was pretty good. Had some thin spots in it. But that truck got crazy. Hammered at 35 grand. So it was 38.5 out the door with fees. And just as a testimony to what these 70s pickups are doing, 70s and even 80s pickups, like a car or two after this truck, after the 79 F, I think it was a 350. Yeah, it was an F350, single wheel, 1-ton, regular cab, long bed, 4-wheel drive. A car or two after that, they ran like an 09 Z06 Corvette, and they couldn't hardly get any bids on it. And it went to the bid goes on at like 20 grand. And I was thinking, geez, if you'd have told that guy when he bought that Corvette I think it was like an 08, 09 to 10, something like that. 15 years ago when he was buying that Z06 Top Dog Corvette, that in 15 years it wasn't going to be worth what a 79 Ford pickup is worth. You imagine that guy's, the look on that guy's face, that the 79 Ford pickup, guys are all over it, but the Z06 was just dead. Tony made it tonight. So anyway, and yes, this is the one. I don't know if you guys saw it. They actually even put my name on it. They probably didn't want to take responsibility for my writing, so they did put my name on it. And one last page. And this car down here at the bottom was probably one of the buys of the weekend. 59 Edsel convertible, hammered at 22 grand, and it was not a bad car at all. So if you're not subscribed to Old Cars, I would highly suggest it. Definitely one of the most diverse magazines in the hobby. We talk about this quite a bit on it, not just because I work with them, but they have so many cars that you don't ever see. That's like I always tell you guys, the nice thing about Old Cars, you don't have to wonder what color the 69 Camaro is going to be in the next issue. Because very rarely will you see a first generation Camaro in here. Very rarely. As opposed to every other issue like most magazines. Was a 79 a 4-speed? I think it was an automatic, but I don't remember. Let me look and see what I put in here. I don't really remember. I didn't put it in the article. The only one Pete gets anymore. Yeah, that's what's kind of, like I said, you wouldn't think that by the title being Old Cars, but just so diverse. Obviously, 73 Cougar on the cover. When's the last time you seen an article on 73 Cougar? Check out this Lincoln. '56 Lincoln. Brett's with us tonight, and he's in California this week, or tonight, actually. So very, very diverse in what they cover, which is what I really like about it. So anyway, up next, what's going on the NoBuddies page? Let's check out the NoBuddies page and see what's going on there. Like I said, hey, there's Tractor Mike made it tonight. If you're not on the NoBuddies page, be on there. Check it out. Yep, that yellow gremlin was slick. I think Tractor Mike was in love with that yellow gremlin. Weren't you, Tractor Mike? Nick out buying license plates again. Oh, I love your comment, Pete. We're here to support and justify bad decisions on here. Absolutely. Waycamp's here. Tractor Mike posted his Willys. You guys got to check this thing out. When is the last time any of you saw a Willys Aero sedan? Tractor Mike has one, and he posted it 9 hours ago. You got to check out the Willys Aero sedan. A very odd little car. They only made them for like 3 years. I think they only made like 10,000 of them. And they made several different variations of them, but they just never sold. I think it's every other week, Big Job. I think your Willys is a POS. I thought your Willys was a pretty good car. Or the Gremlin was a POS. Which one? But no, the little Willys Aero sedan. Those are definitely a unique car. Yeah, bad decisions around here that you hardly ever see. So check out Tractor Mike's Willys Aero sedan on there. Shopcat posted a video with a Corolla on it. Willys is a great car, just can't find parts. Yep, I've got 3 of them in the yard. So at least a few of the things, like a hood hinge and a few other things Tractor Mike came up with. But mechanical parts, not a little more tricky. So Shopcat was working on a Corolla. I could put a Corolla on there. It's going to have forks through the side of it, but we're seeing a Corolla on the NoBuddies page. So Pete posted the information about the gathering. Be sure to check that out. Austin pulling an engine out of the K20. Ryan Winkleman, new owners picked up the 85. So did you just sell that truck, that silver and white one, Ryan? That's a pretty good looking pickup. So anyway, lots of fun stuff going on over there. It's awesome the way you guys are participating in that. Get on there if you're not on there. Let your friends know. Jump into the group. I do not manage that page. Andy and Zach take care of that for us. So jump on there, answer the questions. They will get you in the group so you can keep up with what's going on. So still need a thermostat, housing, wheel cylinders, and a new owner. Copper wire made it tonight. And Meekum Houston starts this week too. I was going to call Wicks this week and never got to it. But Meekum Houston starts the 3rd. When is that? Thursday? Meekum Houston starts. So be thinking about that. There'll be some coverage. If nothing else, you can always watch it on YouTube. Since Motor Trend TV dropped them, and what are they doing? I don't even remember where they're at now. On TV, ESPN Plus. So if you can't get ESPN Plus, you can always watch Meekum on YouTube, if nothing else. Man from the Farm made it back tonight. So that's coming up next week as well. New inventory. Like I mentioned earlier, I picked up 2 this week. Unfortunately, they were already hauling them in for scrap. They tore the crap out of them. But they were really cool. It was really cool stuff. 1960 Chevrolet Parkwood station wagon, but they smashed it right at the front of the roof. Actually, they damaged them both right at the front of the roof. Which is a shame to see a wagon, but at least I guess they smashed it at front. They took out the windshield, the front of the roof, the dash, all that stuff. But the wagon stuff, the back wagon windows, all the trim around it, all still there. So that's a win, but didn't look like it was a terrible car before they completely tore it up. And then the other one was actually something I have never had here before. I said, unfortunately, they halfway destroyed it when they did it, but I went ahead and got it anyway. Mike from Waverly, Texas is here. But believe it or not, there was a Divco milk truck that they were hauling in for scrap, and they just tore the crap out of it. But there again, when's the last time you saw a Divco? And it's still got a lot of parts that are still salvageable. So, Divcos are so tough to find that, this thing's still having bits and pieces and trim, and like the left front fender's pretty good. So I was like, you can't let that go to the shredder. So that stuff did hit the ground. Still not for sure how we're going to do the videos on those or what we'll do with them. But they're here. They're here, and they're not in the shredder. So that's a win. How about a Hudson badge? $17 likes. I'm sure we can get some more likes. Place, 530 left. Gary, how about we sell you some right now? I was literally just thinking it's about time to add something, throw something out here. And there's a lot of cool stuff in those plates. There's a lot of common stuff in there, but there's just like milk crates full of them. And I need to unload them and sort them. I've just been picking through them. But I did find some cool ones for tonight. So how about anybody want to buy one? Let's start selling a couple things off here as we're working our way along. As always, we'll hold up a piece. We'll talk about that piece. We'll tell you what it's for. We'll point out any damage. We'll give you some dimensions on it. As we're talking about it, go ahead and throw a bid in out there. Once we get down to the description, I will announce where the bids are at. We'll put her on the timer right here. We're going to go 90 seconds. I'll tell you when 30 seconds has passed. I'll tell you when 60 seconds has passed. And when we hit 90 seconds, busy day at the firehouse, but Bill Disc is here. I will announce the winner based on what I see on either format, both Facebook or YouTube. Plates. Let's do a plate. I got some old plates, some newer plates, some cool plates. Let's just start with this plate. We got some plates. We got some caps. We got some grease caps. We got some emblems. I got a whole box, too. Actually, I was getting stuff ready tonight. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if we'll do this or not. I've got a box here that has just been kind of a catch-all. There's emblems, toys, and stuff. And I was like, well, I'll put that emblem there, and then I'll find one that'll go with it. Or I'll put this toy in there, and I'll find one that'll go with it. Well, now I got a whole box of stuff. I might just sell you the box. You guys want to just bid on the whole box? It's not a huge box, but I don't know, there's 15 pieces in it. We may do a box of stuff tonight, too, just for fun, because we haven't done that in a while. Gary's all for it. Let's catch this plate first. Going back 85 years, going up north to Minnesota. Bill Disc is ready to go. 1940 Minnesota plate. Basic black with white letters plate. It is an odd size, though. It is all embossed steel. We can look at the back, see how this is all stamped in it. But it's kind of an odd size. It is 10 inches across. And it is 5.5 tall. Gary, 13. Alec, 5. I got Gary at 13 on Facebook, or excuse me, YouTube. Now, I'm not sure. These all look like factory holes. If you pay attention, we've got these holes in the corner and then the elongated slot holes. They all appear to be factory. So I don't think any of these were added. I think they were made this way with all of these extra holes for the different mounting. Okay. We've got Gary at 13. Let's get this thing on the timer and away we go. Coming up on the 30-second mark. 30 seconds gone. Gary at 13. One minute gone, 30 seconds left. Briggs, 15. Coming down to the wire, getting close to the end. Briggs at 15. And that does it. Briggs at 15. Tony at an 18 at 131. Gary at a 16. Briggs at 15 is who I had at the 130. Eric at a 16. Holy cow. All within just a few seconds. Briggs barely snuck that one out of here. That's all right, guys. We still got a few more plates we do yet tonight. Let's catch a center cap real quick. I believe this is early 80s, something for our Chevrolet fans. This is a wheel center cap. I believe it's early 80s Corvette. It is plastic, has the rally flags in it, chrome plated, nice bright chrome, good color. I got it with some stuff at the swap meet, so the tabs aren't busted off the back. It is Eric at 10, about 3 inches across and about 2.5 deep. Tractor Mike at 12. You barely got it, Briggs, by like that much. I mean, they were shooting at you. Tractor Mike at 12, and here we go. We are on the timer. So, yeah, Briggs, that was, I mean, by like a second you got it. Because it was Tony, Gary, and Eric, and that was all between 130 and 133. "30 seconds. 60 seconds left to go." Yeah, you were right last time, Big Job. They were just all too late. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tractor Mike at 12. Working our way towards the end. We're getting close. Tractor Mike 12. Let's see what happens if it's going to be just like last time. And that Eric came in a second too late again. Mary 15. All those within just 2 seconds after the fact. All right. Let's, what the heck? We got the notepad out. Let's give away a truck. Who wants to give away a truck? Tractor Mike shoots and scores. All right. Let's give away a truck. Only except we're going to do, let's do the raffle just like we've been doing the auctions. We're going to give away the truck. Then we'll give away the red line a little bit later on. So we'll give away the truck first. Who got in this week? We did have some new entries this week. Let's see. Kevin Brown, Big Job, Mary, and Matt Williams. The entries into this week. So, for the super killer little Structo ramp side truck that does not have a box but literally looks pretty much new old stock. Who's going to win it? He's a cute little dude. Just skip it all and send it to Man from the Farm. Yeah. All these names in here ready to go. Let's yank one out. And please remember, you can win one time throughout the raffle. It's a Corvair 95, says Joe. All right, here we go. I think I'm down to one. Tony! So Tony gets the truck. So we'll move forward a little bit. Then we're going to give away this red line. Super Killer Diora red line. 1967 Diora red line coming up next. Okay, moving on. Tonight's promo model. This may actually look somewhat familiar to some of you, and I know it's going to look familiar to, I believe, Kevin L., because I think Kevin L. got the one that we sold. This was the 1975 Chevrolet Monza in bright white. Yeah, no problem, Randy. Perfectly understand. We sold one of these a while back. It was a duplicate. This is one out of the Chevrolet dealer collection where Dad and I went to the auction last September. Now, I was kind of curious because you don't see Monzas, Starfire, Skyhawks, Sunbirds. You don't see them. So I was kind of curious. Obviously, back in the day, these were pretty common cars. They made them from 1975 to 1980. So I did a little bit of research and just kind of some rough numbers. I didn't tally up every single thing. Yeah, you did have the nicest one, that's for sure. Man from the Farm had a Sunbird, so yeah, you remember them. So I did just some, I looked up the production figures from 75 to 80. Met a few race cars out of some of them. I've got this big book, 50 Years of American Automobile. You guys have seen me grab it before. There's all kinds of information in here from 39 to 89. And I use this book quite a bit. But what I didn't realize is for a car that we never see anymore, they made almost 750,000 of these cars in 5 years. So today they're kind of, almost an afterthought, overlooked car. But obviously to sell almost 750,000 of them in 5 years, there was a place for them in their day. There's no doubt about it. Thanks, Man from the Farm. I bet so, yeah. You put a small block and a 4-speed in them. They didn't weigh anything. Yeah, they were quick. A lot of people made drag cars out of them. There was a place for them to crusher. This particular promo, like all these, just absolutely in great condition. If you guys remember, all these promos out of this collection, the dealer took the ones they liked home every year, put them on the shelf in their house, and they sat there till the auction last September. They were still making Vegas at that point too. They made Vegas up to 77 or so. So there were a couple years of actual overlap between the Vega and the Monza. They sold both of them. I don't remember how long they made the Vega. I'm sure somebody on here probably knows. But they actually were overlap on those cars. So the white on white on this 1975, the first year for them on this unique little promo. Kevin L. has one in his collection now too, since we sold the extra. Maggie's here with us tonight on Facebook. Glad you made it, Maggie. You guys coming out for the gathering? You're not too far away from us. You guys should come out for the gathering April 26th as well. So the 1975 Monza, like I said, it was kind of crazy when I started looking up how many of those cars they really made, because they obviously sold a ton of them. Monza Mirage. I don't remember the Monza Mirage. But anyway, let's move on to a badge, a cap, brochure, some story time. Let's give away that red line here after a bit. But tonight's badge, I found some more old enamel badges. Actually, I found them in the office at home. I've been cleaning some stuff up there. I would imagine we've probably looked at one similar to this, but it's been a while. I know we haven't looked at this one because I just found it again. For the 1928-29 era Durant. Check this badge out. There again, it's been a while since we looked at any of these early enamel badges, and this one is another one that really makes me remember the detail that these things have in them. When we were looking at a lot of these, which we've been through most of, shoot, we could probably start going back through some of those. It's been so long. But I don't think he's coming. So are you on the NoBuddies page, Maggie? If you're not, you need to jump on there. There's some information on there about the gathering. Or you can always give me a call this week too. The Monza Mirage had fender flares and everything from the factory, just like a race car. I didn't make very many of them. That's probably why I don't remember them. But this 28-29 Durant badge, they basically looked the same. Only one of them was silver, one of them was gold. This one is kind of coppery, like whether it was silver or gold is worn off. We've obviously got a whammy across the top of the D. But when you look at the detail in these things, the leaves or the wreath around the edge, the gargoyle down in the bottom, Durant stamped in it across the bottom below the enamel D in blue and white. Hey, there's Pappy. Steve's here. This particular Durant badge is 2 1/4 tall and about an inch and a half wide. So about 2 1/4 by about an inch and a half to give you an idea on size. These were pressed on, or these were pressed flat on the back side of the grill shell to hold them in place. And overall still looks, pretty decent, other than the whammy across the top of the D on the 28-29 Durant badge. How about a cap? We're going to stay early on cap tonight as well. Stay pre-war. This, I think, is early 30s based on the size. It's a little bit larger. A lot of the stuff that was teens, it was a very small diameter. As things got a little bit bigger, a little bit newer into the 30s, the diameters got larger. And that's kind of what we've got on this particular cap tonight, because it is actually 3.5 in diameter. When we look across the back side of it, it's 3.5. On this, what I believe is an early 30s era Buick. This one, the Buick script, what's great about it is the Buick script is nice and clear. It does have a little bit of damage in it. It's got a few scrapes and scratches. This was the hex head type cap. It was silver, which is mostly worn off. But the Buick, very proud and bold and front and center right here on this cap. Internal threads, like most of them. We can see where the Buick actually is. You can see it's where it's stamped in the back. Still has a little bit of grease packed in there. But a very sharp-looking grease cap. Dispatch Brian at 20. So are we selling this? Hey, there's Andy the Rusty Okie. So I guess this is the next auction item. Actually, it was the next auction item. It's a trick. Dispatch Brian at 20. This is an early 30s era. I believe early 30s Buick. Let me give you a dimension across the hex part of it. About 2.5 across the hex. As you can see, the Buick letters are very clear, stamped in there. That is all cast into the piece. Good looking cap. Now let's go ahead and get this thing ready to roll. Brian, dispatch at 20 on the Buick grease cap, and we're on the timer. All right, Brian, dispatch at 20. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Brian, dispatch 20. Ticking away, coming up on the 60-second mark. Brian at 20. Mary, 25. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Ticking away, coming down here towards the end. Mary at 25. Brian, dispatch 28. Eric, 26. Just about ready to wrap this one up. And that does it. Dispatch at 28. Eric had a 29, but it was too late. Oh, let's do this plate. This is cool. I like these. I've got a couple of different ones, but I'm keeping some of them. So there's only a few of these I'm going to sell. I think we did one a while back, but I love these plates. Let's see what you guys think of it. Not that old. It's only a little over 50 years old, which I guess that is kind of old now. But compared to some of these plates we get into back in the 20s, this is only going back to 1973. But I love the Wyoming plates with the Bucking Bronco on them. Check those out, guys. Cowboy on his Bucking Bronco. Yep, there you go. You can come out and pick it up. 1973 Wyoming plate. And this is actually stamped in the plate. This is not a decal. It is actually stamped in it. The black is a decal, but it is actually stamped into the plate. Mary, 15. On the 1973 Wyoming, this is roughly a 6x12 plate, like a standard size plate. Obviously, you can see it's bare metal on the back, so this is screened on the front. But a cool looking plate with the cowboy on the Bucking Bronco in Wyoming in 1973. So we're on the timer and away we go. Mary at 15. Yep, that's true. Hadn't thought of that, Tractor Mike. Yeah, these are pretty cool. The desolate wasteland of nesting. Been across there several times already this month. 30 seconds gone. Yeah, the shipping and the tariffs and everything else, it might be cheaper to come out and pick it up. 71 County 10, Wyoming. There are a few other Wyomings, but there's not a lot in here with the Bucking Bronco. That's what's been the funnest thing about this batch. We got a lot more states than we've had before. We're seeing cool stuff like this. And some early stuff from some of these other states. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Mary at 15. Pappy, 18. Austin 20, Tony 20. I had Austin first, and that did it. Austin at 20. John Sanderson 21, just a little too late. Austin at 20. Let's see. Actually, my computer's beeping at me here. Hold on. You guys want to do a killer toy? I mean, a really cool toy? Gary's ready for the whole box. You want to do the box of stuff? We can do the box of stuff. All right, I was going to show you this box. Austin's ready for the box. This box is, just to give you an idea size-wise, 11 inches by 9.5 by 5. There are 4 Hot Wheels size toys, a tractor, 2 trucks, 2 tobacco cans, 1 Tootsie toy, and a few emblems. Okay. Austin says, don't tell you. So, you guys want to see what's in the box? Gary at 20, or you want to just buy the box? You guys tell me. There is, like I said, 2 toy trucks, 1 toy tractor, 4 Hot Wheels size cars, 1 Tootsie toy, 2 tobacco cans, 1, 2, 3, and about 4 or 5 emblems. 25. So mystery box, Gary 30. We doing it as a mystery box? Alex is doing something. There it is. I just folded the lid in on it. So that gives you an idea of what you're getting as far as the toys and the emblems and the cans, okay? So, Gary at 30, and the timer is on. Gary at 30. So you have an idea what's in there, but not exactly what's in there. Between 11 and 12. $30 seconds gone. Gary at 30, coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Gary at 30. Eric, 31. You're not getting easy sand multi-purpose material, though. 31 as we're coming down to the end. Kevin, 36. Few seconds left to go. Ostioki, 47. And that does it. Andy at 47. Couple more bids hit right at the 130 mark, but Andy had them covered. Alec had a 45 over here on Facebook that just popped up. Eric had a 50. That was all late. Rusty Okie at 47. Yeah, exactly. Plastic shoe boxes. Now you want to see it. That's up to Rusty Ogie. Actually, Andy will probably post it when he gets it. Well, that was fun. Let's do a cap. Let's do a regular cap. I got some caps laying here too. Let's catch one cap and then we'll move forward and catch a few more things after a while. This is 1965, 1966 Chevy full-size car dog dish cap. It's a pretty decent looking cap. This has a red bow tie. I think that was 6 and maybe 5 was black. Obviously nice and bright and shiny. Ridged around the edges. This is domed a little bit here in the middle. You can see it sticking out. Oh, you see it all stamped in the back. Brett, 15. Eric, 15. $10.5. Mary at 20. $10.5 in diameter. A few typical dings and dents, but this one still presents really well. Sounds great, Tim. Glad you were here. Mary at 20, and away we go on the timer. Brett, 21. $30 seconds gone. Mary, 25. Need a Ford one with some patina for a project. Don't have a Ford one. Well, I got one Ford one over there if we get that far, but don't have many Fords in the stack for tonight. It is a good looking cap. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Mary, 25. Yep, I'll get a few more Fords mixed in there. Man from the farm. Mary at 25 as this one's ticking away. And that does it. Mary at 25. Oh, getting warm in here. I turned my little heater on because it's been cool. Now it's a little bit warm in here. Okay. Brochure. On to the brochure. This one's a little bit rough. This one is banged up a little bit, but I had it here in the office. I think I got a better one in the car. But this is why we love brochures. We just started this segment, 2 weeks ago? We had a couple of really cool ones, the 61 DeSoto, the Glen Prey 8/10 cord, some really neat stuff on the brochures. But we're going to back up a little bit this time and go back into the 50s because the artwork is just so killer on this stuff. Going back to a car that obviously I have a very deep affinity for because I've got one next door. I've had it for most of my life. On the 1958 Pontiac. Now, this one is banged up a little bit over here on this side. I said, I think I've got a better one in the car. This one was in the office. I think some books fell on it or something. But on the front, you can see the front end of the Bonneville, and on the back of the brochure, the rear of the Bonneville. Inside, the boldest advance in 50 years from a bold new generation of engineering comes Pontiac 58, a totally new kind of car with revolutionary advances in basic design chassis, body structure, power, and styling. Lots of hearts. There's going to be a lot of hearts as we go through this thing. Trust me. A new kind of car, the Golden Jubilee car launches a new age, a bold new age in motoring with important advances, including the X-frame design that GM utilized in that time frame. The hearts just keep pouring. And into the cars, the first series, the top dog for the year, the sister car to the 1958 Impala. Pontiac proudly presents a Golden Jubilee Triumph, the first true union of sports car action with town car luxury and a sleek sport coupe or a dashing convertible on the 1958 Pontiac Bonneville. Sounds good, Pappy. Glad you were here. We talked about it earlier. I've got a few things put together on the order, but I would like to try to have that done before the gathering, Pappy. So probably need to check in with you this week on timing when I've got to have that hard order to you to have stuff back to me for people to pick up at the gathering. So Drew's definitely watching. That's great. So yeah, Pappy, we've got a few orders for plates and mugs already, and I told everybody to get with me this week, and if they want them, because I'd like to have them here to hand to the people that show up for the gathering, and then I can work the others into the orders. So I probably need a date from you to know when that hard date's going to be as far as getting the orders to you. And the Bonneville convertible. Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate that. And the kind of the more basic series, which is what my car is. And in fact, this car here is very similar to mine. Sounds good, Mary. Glad you were here tonight. Got to hang out for a while. Okay, sounds great, Pappy. The 1958 Pontiac Chieftain. Now, their center spread car here is the four-door hardtop, which is what my car is. Only where the darker green is here, mine is white. I have the seafoam and the roof and insert, but white on the rest of the car. You guys were here last year for the gathering, did see it. It is sitting right next door. I've had that car since I was like 11. It was my grandma's. I bought it from her. Made payments for months as an 11-year-old. And I did redo that car about 25 years ago. But pretty decent old car. So obviously owning a 58 Pontiac for this many years, that's why I'm kind of fond of them. Obviously, Dad's got the 58 Buick we did the video on, and I've got the 58 Pontiac. And those cars, the 58 Buick was actually my grandpa's car, and they bought the Pontiac for my grandma. They had a pair of 58s. Then my dad ended up with the Buick. I ended up with the Pontiac. And we've still got them here literally almost 50 years later because they bought both those cars in the late 70s. More on the Chieftain. You can see the artwork, the colors. This is all art. These are not photographs. This is all art. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. And the 58 Super Chief, Pontiac's Bonanza buy for Midland budgets. The hearts just keep a-pouring. We're not even close to done yet with this thing. Personalize your Super Chief with custom interiors. The Star Chief, luxury unlimited. Pontiac's Glamour line models match bold engineering with a special flair. On the 1958 Star Chief. I agree, Briggs. 58 was a great year. Bill would just put by one of these just so he could get a brochure. And up next, the Safari Wagon. Check this beast out. '58 Apache is a good looking truck too. As well as some base model wagons and the new bold advance in V8 efficiency, the Tempest 395. This was actually not 395 inches, though. I believe the 395 was torque. But I'm not sure if it's going to tell me here. But they call it the Tempest 395. We see this one I'm not selling at all, Tony. We see the base model wagons here. The Tempest 395 V8. Now, this motor in 58 was actually a one-year only motor. 58 was the only year that used the 370. 57 was a 347. And 56, I think, was like a 316. They started with the 50. In 55 was when Pontiac got a V8, but they went to a 347 in 57, a 370 in 58. And then in 59, they went to the tried and true engine that stuck around for several years, all the way up to 66. With the 389 before they completely redesigned the architecture for 67. So this 58 motor was a 370 one-year only engine. And obviously we see our tri-power configuration as well as available fuel injection. Who caught the video with our good friend Tom Wilhite with his fuel injected 58 Chieftain? Anybody catch that from Meekum a year and a half ago? Who saw that video? If you didn't, go back and check it out. 58 Chieftain two-door hardtop factory fuel injection that was raced in Kansas back in 58 and 59. My car is a two-barrel. I do have a 58 tri-power unit for it, but I've never put it on. Yep, you did see it in person. That's true. The Strato Chief was not available here, at least not in. I don't think they ever made the actual Strato Chief available in Kansas. Custom tailored Pontiac luxury comfort, convenience, and beauty. They did have an actual accessories brochure. However, they did show some of them available in here. In the back of the main brochure. If I can get this thing to stay open. Factory air conditioning. Power brakes, power steering, power windows, power seat, the regular deluxe radio, the transportable radio. We've talked about those on here before that would plug into the car. You could literally pull them out, remove them, and carry them with you like a transistor radio. I do have one of those radios, an actual original. The Continental kit, ventilation. So a lot of cool stuff in here on the 1958 Pontiac, the Golden Jubilee car. JP's dad had a 56 Chieftain with a Continental kit. Arnie the farmer raced a 58. So there we have it. Tonight's brochure, the 1958 Pontiac. This brochure stuff has been a ton of fun, guys. I hope you're enjoying it, because it's been pretty cool to do some of this stuff and check out some of these cars and their brochures with the advertising of the era when they were actually on the market and available for sale. Yep, that's right. My Trans Am was actually sold new. Well, I say my Trans Am, my 78 Trans Am. We got to narrow it down when I say Trans Am. Came from Hankins. I knew Don Hankin. It was Al's son who ran the dealership. I actually picked up a really killer Al Hankin Motors piece that we're going to be sharing with you on a Toy Tuesday here in a couple weeks. I just got it a few weeks ago. Have not gotten it worked into the Toy Tuesday rotation yet, but I did just pick up a really cool Al Hankin dealership piece a few weeks back. So glad you guys liked it. Share and subscribe. Appreciate that. You're right, Bill. You definitely got to love the art that they used back in the day on that stuff. It was amazing. Okay. How about some story time? This is a car I know we looked at before, and I think it was prior to digging the paperwork out. I don't think we did it. Starting to get a little foggy. We've been through so many of these. Kind of hard to remember them all, but I don't think we did the paperwork on this one. I think we just looked at the car prior to the paperwork. I think it's in this book. Getting kind of lost. Nope, I think I got to grab the other book. Kevin L's ready to go. I think I got to grab the other book. It must have been in the other book. I know we had seen it, so I figured it was in this book when I pulled the paperwork. All right, I'm going to grab the other book. Bear with me. Sounds good, Tractor Mike. You get some rest, buddy. Here it is, second page of the book. That's why. Okay, this one's kind of, all these pictures are kind of falling out of here, so let me grab them. This actually is one of my favorite cars. This is a car that one day I would like to have one, actually. So something that I've kind of always had in the back of my head, whether or not I'll ever stop and buy one, I don't know. But personally, this is a car that has always stuck with me. I've always thought it was a great looking car. I love the lines on them. And like I said, hopefully someday I'll stumble onto one that's worth buying for me. I've got an air cleaner for it. I came across an air cleaner and I bought it, and I've kept that air cleaner for years. I bet I've had this air cleaner for 25 years, hoping to someday come across the car that I can go ahead and pick up on a 1967 Buick GS. So let's learn a little bit more about this 67 GS. Can't tell if it was a 400 or a 340 based on these pictures. But the 67 Grand Sport has always just been a car that just really appealed to me. The 340 with the red stripes, even though it was the smaller horsepower with the smaller motor, the 340 package with the red hood scoops and the red stripes I thought was great. I also love blue on them. I just really like the lines of the 67 Buick GS. On top of the fact, okay, Dad said this one was a 340. On top of the fact that they had the Star Wars air cleaners, which I've got one back there. I've had it for 25 years, thinking one of these days I'm going to stumble onto a 67 GS. So what did this car need? We've got really detailed records at this point. As far as breaking down everything Dad did to him. This was in 78, so a couple years into doing these cars and getting some pretty detailed records on some of these. So let's see here. I think this is what was wrong with this, if I remember what Dad said right. Timing gear and chain. Oh, had to have been because there's R&R engine pan. So the timing gear and chain went out on this car. So timing gear and chain, R&R engine pan. So it went out, dumped junk in the pan, had to pull the pan, clean the metal out of the pan. So R&R starter and overhaul, service of transmission, pack front wheel bearings, R&R front brake shoes, rear brake shoes, R&R an axle seal, one U-joint, had to replace the tailpipe, had to have the seat cover repaired, put front carpet in it, recover an armrest, changed oil, obviously, tune up, 5 hours of body work, so it must have had some body damage. Clean and buff, put wheel centers on it, had to put a rocker arm shaft in it, which is kind of odd. I don't know what that would have been for. Had to put a speedometer cable in it, seal windshield. It must have been leaking a little bit, which, as crazy as that sounds, wasn't that uncommon back in the day. Those windshields were just put in with a butyl tape kit, and that butyl tape would dry, and the windshields would leak a little bit. Oh, it was the nylon timing gear teeth that stripped and dumped into the pan. Parking light, backup light, repair shock bushing, replace axle bearing, and safety inspection and advertising. Yeah, that's true. 5 hours, it wasn't a ton of body work, but probably a couple dents or something. So let's check out some of the tickets. Carpet, used carpet, $5. Got carpet at the salvage yard. And you think, how could you do that? Well, you got to remember, this car was a 67 and this is in 78. This car was only 11 years old. $5, carpet. Dad said he didn't remember how to do some painting, but don't remember exactly what it was. Seal, $1.57. Gear, $7.66. Gaskets, $2.18, 3 gaskets. Walker, $14.35. That must have been the tailpipe. Yep, tailpipe. Ray Vestas, there's some of our brake shoes. Front brake shoes, $9.84. Four wheel centers, $12. So the wheel centers must have been $3 a piece. Axle bearing, $13.99. And a carb kit, $8.27. Still has the insurance form. Michael signing off. Glad you were here tonight, Michael. Let's see. Insurance. On a 67 Buick in 1978. Liability insurance. With $50,000 in bodily injury, $100,000 in property, or $50,000 in property. So it looks like 50,000 body, 50,000 property was $22.70. $5,000 in extra medical expense insurance was $610 or $690. You can't really tell. And comprehensive collision or comp insurance, $13.60. So basically, this was comp and liability. Do not have collision. But comp and liability, let's see what the time period was. This was 6 months. 6-month insurance policy for comp and liability, $43.20. So we looked at paint prices, seal prices, gasket prices, bearing prices. 6 months of comp and liability insurance was $43.20. And I don't know how well you guys will be able to see that on there, but that's where it kind of broke it down. So now it's all done. He bought the car. We actually did not have a receipt for when he bought it. He's got it marked down at $150, but we do not have a receipt from when he bought the car. But the ad went in the paper and it ran May 5th through May 8th of 1978. 1967 Buick Skylark GS. Sporty car in excellent condition, safety inspected. Call or see at 2210 25th. That ad ran for the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Well, 3 times. So one of those must have been a Saturday. Ran for 3 times, 14 words. $3.60 in the local newspaper. So after all that work, he bought the car for $150 and did not have a lot of money in parts. Right at $100, $100.29. And then he figured up his labor just like if he was working in the shop at $7.50 per hour. Yeah, I bet so, Brian. He was figuring his labor at $7.50 an hour. Oh, he traded for it. He did some trading to get that car from 281 Auto Salvage, which is still in the road in business right up the road. And he has it sold for $1,185. So pretty good return on investment on that deal. Like I said, we don't know for sure how long exactly he had it since we don't have the purchase receipt. But it looks like for 2 or 3 months probably. But when you figure in his actual parts and actual cost of the car made pretty good money. You got to remember, this is $1978. So even when you figured in his labor time, his labor figured in at $276.75. So he had, just under $300 in labor if he had billed the labor out. But, had $100 in parts and $150 in the car. And so that car made pretty good money by 1978 standards. But like I said, definitely one of my favorite cars. One that I definitely hope at some point I'll find one that's worth buying. on the 1967 Buick GS. Still got my air cleaner back there, though, in case of we're. Oh, Dad said he drove this one for a while, too, so it was around for a little bit. It's probably why they had a 6-month insurance policy on it. So there you have the rest of the story on the 1967 Buick GS 340 from 1978. Like I said, guys, I hope I'm not getting some of these mixed up. We're getting so deep into some of these that I hope we haven't done them. I hope we're not redoing some of these. I'm trying to keep track, but man, that's a lot of cars. Yep, that's the answer, Brian. I have zero desire to get rid of that air cleaner. So anyway, hey, let's give away a red line. Who wants to give away a red line? And then we'll sell a few more pieces after that. How about that? Let's grab the big Buick oil can and let's give away that Diora. The Diora in teal. This one does have a little bit of scuffing and scratching, but not terrible. Considering this thing is 58 years old, not a bad red line. And these did not exactly have the thickest paint on them anyway. Phase 2 gets better, says Dad. Okay. All right, let's give away the red line. Then we're going to see who has entries into the new raffle. So Tony is out. He's already won. So if we would yank Tony's name again, we will pull another one. You bet, man, from the farm. Glad you're enjoying it. Hope to see you back next week. All right, what do we got here? Matt, how about that? So we've got Tony and Matt. Let's see who's going to get 10 entries into the next raffle. Mary. Mary's got 10 shots into the next month. So Mary's going to start the big Buick oil can off next month. We'll put her right back in there. We're going to pull her back. We're going to pull everybody out except for Mary to kick off next month's raffle. Now, what's going to be next month's raffle? Well, I was thinking about that. And I had a few more toys, but I didn't want to do another toy. And I knew we just did some cans as plates, and I'm sitting here thinking, cans, caps, plates. What do we want to do? Just didn't want to do a toy back to back. So I started looking through these new plates because, like I said, I have not sorted them yet. I'm just literally flipping through the crate, the milk crates full of them. Valve cover, that's a good idea, JP. I didn't get valve covers out, though. But I did come up with something. We've done plates before. We're going to do plates again, but a little bit different this time. Let's check them out. Now, when we get into plates, you know, the 60s, 70s era stuff, other than like when they've got the Buck and Bronco on them. But a lot of times, really good colors, really low numbers, you know, that type of stuff. You know, the high numbers from the 80s aren't that rare. But when we get into the early ones, those are the ones that everybody loves. Because they didn't make as many plates. There weren't as many cars on the road. They didn't survive. I mean, license plates are not big, thick, heavy metal. So they didn't hold up, especially when you get really, really early. That's what I think we're going to do on this raffle. You guys tell me if it's a bad idea or a good idea. I think it's kind of cool. There's going to be 4 plates. And then if we have good entries, then we'll grab another plate or 2 to kind of mix in there. But primary prize for next month's raffle is going to be 4 plates. They are all related. It's not going to be too tough to figure out how they're related, but we'll go through here. Jesse's excited. Perfect. I'll start off with a couple of the rougher ones. We'll work up to the better ones. Montana. 1923. There's number 1. Obviously, some paint loss on this one. We see the MONT, the 2-3 down here. The back, we can see where all that's stamped in it very clearly. It was bent right here the way it looks. It's kind of an odd size. Yellowstone prequel. There you go. 13 inches by like 4.5. So 23 Montana. 23 Nebraska. This one still has a little bit of green paint on it, but not much. But look how clear the Nebraska, the 1923 stamps out. A little bit of rust damage over here. Backside of the plate, pretty clean. Just, you know, you can see where all the stampings are on it very clearly. A little bit of green left on this one, but not much. But I think this one has a really killer look. We're already seeing hearts. That's a good sign. This 1923 Nebraska is 13 by a little over 5. So there's half of them. Up next, Wisconsin, and I bet you can guess the year, 1923. This one has some paint loss up here and a little surface rust, but overall, this one looks pretty darn decent. Kind of an off-white, almost a cream with red letters. See the WIS, the 2-3. Backside's pretty clean. This one's a little longer. Almost 14.5. By about 4 3/4. So pretty good looking plate. And one more. This one from Minnesota, and I bet you can guess the year. Yes, 1923 Minnesota. This one in kind of a olive gray-green type with burgundy or maroon letters on it. This is all, once again, of course, all stamped in here. The Minnesota very clear on it. Does appear to be original paint. Backside does have a little bit of surface rust. And it is 15. By about 5.5. So what do you think, guys? Like I said, just trying to think of something different. The early plates always get people excited. 102 years old. Now, these two obviously are showing a little of their age, but not terrible. And these two really look good considering they're 102 years old. So how about that for an April raffle? We'll see how the entries go. We may throw another plate or 2 in later on and see how the entries go. But I thought it was a cool set. All 1923. a set of 4 102-year-old license plates. There goes the hearts again. I'm taking that as a good sign that you guys are digging it. So we'll get those hung up next week. Get your entries in. Don't want to mix these up here with the plates we might be selling you here in a little bit. Don't want to grab the wrong one. All right. Should we sell you a couple more things? Anybody ready for a couple more auctions? Or we're going to move on to the magazine. I haven't had a Hudson badge in a while. I know that. Let's see. All right, everybody's ready to go. Gary wants more plates. We got a couple more plates here. I got 2 more plates laid out. I got some emblems. I got another grease cap. I got some more hubcaps. We got all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll do another plate, then we'll do an emblem, and then a grease cap, and then we'll see where we're at. We had a lot of fun with this last week, and I found another one that says kind of the same thing. A little more clearly, there's a couple of these. We sold one last week. I'm going to sell you another one. Badges. These badges are emblems. Oh, we got emblems. Well, Gary says let's do a plate, and then we'll catch an emblem. These things are so cool. We sold one last week. This is a little more clearly stamped. Yeah, I think it's newer. But check this out, guys. Oh yeah, another prison-made plate. Sounds like a good score, Gary. Prison-made. Montana 57. All stamped steel. You can see the prison made stamped in the back as well. Like I said, I have not sorted these. I need to get these out and sort them. So I was kind of surprised to see another one like this. Obviously has some paint loss and surface rust on it. It was black with white lettering. I'm not sure if the T meant it was a truck. I'm assuming the 38 was the county. It's close to 12 by 6, but it looks slightly off. I want to check this. No, it is right at 12, just a hair under 12. And it's just a hair under 6. So it is 12 by 6, very similar to a standard size plate on this prison-made 1957 Montana. So, I'm going to open the screen back up on the phone. And who's going to get us rolling on the 57 Montana prison-made plate? And here we go. Matt 10, Briggs 10, Tony 10. Okay. Well, I don't think that's going to last, so we'll see what happens. Gary 13. $30 seconds gone. That's true. Bill never thought of it that way. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Gary 13. Matt, 15. Briggs, 15. We got a few seconds left. Tony, 22. Big Job, 25. And that did it. Big Job, 25. Bill had a 28, but it was too late. Big Job at 25 is who we had at the minute 30 mark. I was kind of wondering, I was like, this thing is too cool to not be doing anything. And there's boom, 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 boom. Big Job at 25. All right, ready for some emblems? We got a Buick, Pontiac, Chevy trifecta coming at you right now. Up first, the Buick 1963-64 era LeSabre. He's kind of sharp on the end. Shank, just like Bill said. Pot metal, chrome plated, flat mount, studs. Twelve and a half inches. Yep, Kenny, it's a big badge bundle. Up next, this is mid-60s, 64, 65 era. I think 64 probably. Pontiac Star Chief. Once again, chrome-plated pot metal. It's not busted up. It's not chipped. It was stud mount. And these all did come out of my buddy's yard as well. This Star Chief is $14 1/4. So slightly larger than our LeSabre. One more in this badge bundle. I think this was a 1965. Off the glove box door of an Impala. Chrome plated, pot metal. This actually had some like barrels that like sat down into the glove box door where it mounted. Chrome plated with kind of a brush finish across it. The letters were, I'm guessing the letters were probably black. Doesn't look like they have any coloring left in them. On the, like I said, I think it was a 65, maybe 66 Impala glove box door emblem. This particular one is just a hair over 14. So all three of them on the GM badge bundle. Buick, Pontiac, Chevrolet, all mid-60s. And let's roll with it. Who's going to get us started off on all three of them? A one-shot deal, and we are on the timer. Gary, 12. Tony, 10. I got Gary at 12. Matt, 14. Slided a Hudson badge. 30 seconds gone. Matt, 14. All three of them a one-shot deal. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Gary, 15. Pete, 31. Matt, 28. And that does it. Pete at 31. And we got a super chat from Brett. Let me write this down real quick before I forget. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it. Supercharged super chat from Brett. Boof. Got to bring out the big supercharged super chat badge. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it. Our original 1935 Auburn supercharged boat tail speedster hood emblem for the super chat. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate that. On the supercharged super chat. Always appreciate that, guys. Means a lot that you guys step up and help out like that. Okay. Let's catch a funky little grease cap. I think this actually was supposed to have had like a silver finish to it, but it's almost all worn off, so it has this killer brass look to it. I think we've done some of these before, but this thing, it just looks super cool. It's for a star. That's why I said I think we've done stars before. This has a, look at this brass look on this thing. Look at that. When you look around the sides, I can still see a little bit of silver. So I think this was probably, sounds great, Jeff. I think this was probably silver coated. I don't think it was chromed. But that's some sort of a silver type finish to it. Internal threads, smaller diameter. So this is an earlier cap. 2 1/4 inches in diameter. But just a killer brass look to this star. And the star's not whammied. We see the hex around here. A few scuffs and scratches in the hex, but it's minimal. This star cap is 1 inch and a little over 1.5 inches tall. So, the brass looking star grease cap, probably mid to late teens, early 20s era. There again, well over 100 years old. It still looks pretty decent for that. Sounds great, Mark. So anyway, who's going to start us off on the star cap? We'll catch another plate, and then we'll see where we're at on things. So let's roll on the star cap, and we are, well, I thought we were on the timer. It didn't go. There we go. Now we're on the timer. Sounds good, Brian. On the little star grease cap in brass, look, Gary at 7. Over 100 years old, cool looking piece. 30 seconds gone, 60 seconds left to go. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, Gary at 7, the only bid on the grease cap, on the star grease cap. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Kenny 10, Waycamp 10. Hung up at 10. We got a few seconds left to go. Gary 12. Kenny 17. Pete 19. And that does it. Pete at 19. Cool looking little piece. All right. I got one more plate laid out here. Let's do this one. Then we'll kind of see where we're at. Let's have a Hudson badge. Let's have an Auburn badge. And let's see what we got here. This one, what is this? 92 years old, going back to 1933. I wish the paint was better on this because I bet the color was really cool on it. It's kind of weird the way it's kind of faded, but this thing has such a killer look to it. I mean, hanging this thing in your man cave with this look with the cracked paint and the blue and the white, it's just, man, this thing has a great look to it. If I didn't have so many plates the way it was, I would keep this. There's no doubt about it. The more I look at it, the cooler it looks. But I think it needs to go to one of your guys' collections. I've got more plates than I know what to do with. Man, this thing is cool. 1933, Iowa. The coloring on this thing is just blowing my mind. Look at this. I don't know if this was supposed to be a blue or kind of a purple. I'm not really sure. With white border, obviously, white letters. And then look at the cracking on the white letters. I mean, this thing has just such an amazing look to it. The back, I can't tell what color it was because it's all like splotched. But the splotching almost, I mean, we look at the front and how the dark and the fading is between the dark and the light. It's really, really wild. It's a sharp plate. The cracking on the white against the purplish blue just really make this thing stand out. It's 92 years old and it still looks this good. It is 12 5/8. Yeah, it is kind of tie-dye. Yeah. So it's 12 5/8, just over 12 1/2. By 5 1/2. Well, maybe. Come back here. Tony at 10. So anyway, just a killer looking piece. All right. Here we go. We got Tony at 10, and there goes the timer on the 1933 Iowa. Ticking away, coming up to the 30-second mark. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Tony at 10. Briggs, 12. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Briggs at 12. Coming out of the end of this thing, Briggs at 12. That's it on this thing? This thing, I should have kept it. This thing is cool. Matt, 25. There we go. Jesse, 15. Tony, 25. Matt at 25 is my high bidder. Austin, 26, and that does it. Holy cow. Austin got a 26 in there at 130. I mean, there was no time left. Tony came back at 30. Austin at 26 by like that much. Holy cow. That was nutso. But that's what makes the auctions fun, guys. I mean, we were what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bids from like 129 to 133. So, yeah. We had a lot of fun on the auctions tonight, though, guys. That was a great time. Yeah, that one got a little bananas. I got one more toy laying out here. Should I put it in the box or should we sell it? I'll put it back in the box for next week with all these emblems and caps, or Matt says sell. I'll put missiles flying, yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll do it. Okay, sounds good, Austin. I'll get your box put together. We'll sell it, but the minimum bid's $25. Because this thing is so killer that we've looked at a bunch of these on Toy Tuesday. I had a whole box of them. So minimum bid's $25. It's worth $25, I'm sure, because it's late 30s. From the Auburn Rubber Company. You guys remember the toy rubber Auburn cars that we looked at? Look down in the bottom of them where you see the Auburn Rubber Company stamped in the bottom of them. As you can see, it's got the tires and wheels all still on it. If you guys are, I don't know if you guys remember that, because that was 2 or 3 weeks ago that we did these. This was, I think there was one of these in there, because I think this came out of the same deal, and that's why I put it in the auction boxes, because it was the same as another one in there. Looks very similar to an Oldsmobile. Pretty decent paint. It does have some wear, but it's not chunked out. It's not cracked, chipped, broken. On this Auburn Rubber Company. Look at this thing. This is late 30s. Toy, I believe, Oldsmobile. Four and 5/8. So it's a smaller one. It's 4 and 5/8 long. The paint has a good shine to it. We can see where it's worn through on the window pillars and some of the other high points on this super killer little Auburn Rubber Company. I think that's all it says. Yeah, Auburn Rubber Company, Auburn, Indiana. This one does not say anything about the type of the car. Some of these actually had it stamped in them. This one does not. Sounds good, Brett. Get some sleep so you can get on the road. John Sanderson, 26. So I guess that means I got to sell it. It's a good thing it's a duplicate because it's so cool. I really don't want to sell it. But John at 26 means we got to sell it. So there we go. Gary, 28. We're on the timer on the little Auburn Rubber Company. Like I said, late 30s toy car that's not busted up, chunked out, chipped out. Gary, 28. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Considering this is a rubber toy and it is 85 years old and in this condition, that's a lot of red lights, Big Job, and you could be very true. This thing's 85 years old. It's a hard rubber toy, and it's in this condition. You don't stumble on these. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Just under 30 seconds left to go. Lots of red sirens on this one. This could be a sniper piece as well. We're going to find out here in a few seconds. Gary at 28. John, 29. And that does it. John Sanderson at 29. Got that in just a few seconds left. John Sanderson at 29. That's just a great piece. Obviously, I had that whole box of them we checked out. That's a cool piece. So, you want me to just keep that till the gathering as well, John? Start you a box too? or do you need me to get that shipped to you? Hudson badge. Okay, perfect. And you guys that do pick up, a lot of them, you know, I keep a box back there. Actually, they're all stuffed under the front of the 74Z with your names on them. So keep that stuff lined out. Big job. I just shipped your stuff yesterday since you were getting a pretty good handful back there. So your stuff is headed your way. I think everything is shipped other than the stuff that is being picked up at the gathering. So stuff should all be headed your way on that stuff. So anybody, like I said, I'll get those boxes sorted and get your names on them, keep them lined out so that we're all in good shape, and you can pick all that stuff up here in a month. It's crazy, guys. It's going to be here before we know it. It's just around the corner. What did I do? I thought I had something out here. Oh, there it is. All right, let's catch a bit of a magazine. Hey, I'll tell you guys what. I thought of something else. I forgot to put in my notes I was going to do. Perfect, Kenny. Something we didn't get to tonight, but I wanted to throw something at you guys. Since we got all these names in the can, I thought of something else. Okay, sounds good, Matt. Will do. I think that's what I did. I think I put that in the tub with your receipt since it was just one piece. So, and I do appreciate that, guys, when, because shipping one piece usually isn't worth it, but I do print the receipts, put it with the piece so that I know it's paid for. You guys that I put the boxes together for, I mark that stuff as you pay for it so that when you pick it up, we know where we're at on that. No, it's not a super raffle yet. We need to kind of figure out how we want to do that. But you guys remember we've been looking through the Hemmings, the old Hemmings, looking at ads. We didn't get to it tonight, but we've been looking at ads in the old Hemmings magazines like this 1983 that we've been spending some time with. Does anybody want to win one of these? Should we give one of these old Hemmings away? I got a couple of them laying here we've been looking through, and it'll be like a bonus drawing. It'll go with your next shipment. It won't ship by itself, but it'll go with your next shipment. Anybody interested in doing that? Boss says give one away. Okay. All right. Let's give this one away. Let's give away this January of 83. We still got the names in the can. Let's give one away. We'll do one more. Let me grab my notepad so we can write it down. And we'll give away one of those Hemmings. All right. Tony, Matt, and Mary are out. Mary, she's already won. She's going back into the drawing for next month. That doesn't surprise me. Mary bought a lot of chances this month, so glad she's at least going back in for next month. Zach! Whoa, come back here. So we'll add that to Zach's next shipment. Okay, I seen those laying there. I was like, we ought to give one of these away too. We're having so much fun with those that those have been a blast going back and looking to it. We didn't do it tonight, but we'll get back on that next week as well. So anyway, lots of stuff going on. Holy cow. Let's go back and check out a couple things in this October 1951 hot rod. We opened this one up here several weeks ago. Haven't gotten back to it yet. So let's check out a few things in here. Cover price was 25 cents. I don't even really remember what we actually looked at in here when we looked at it. I think we checked out some of the ads. Zach with an H. I don't know how he prefers it. I think I've done it both ways, actually. I think I put it in with an H. I think I put it in with a K. I don't really know how he prefers to do it, but here's an interesting article. Souping up the 60, transforming the Ford V8 60 into a competition bomb. Bored and stroked Ford 60 engine converted for dry lakes competition. Check this out. How's that for a flathead? That's right. We need to start putting it out for Janet. Great idea, Big Job. This is kind of interesting. Now, the 60 was the small flathead. And by comparison, now you got to remember, this is something we've really got to keep in mind. We are in 1951 when we're looking at this. Cadillac and Oldsmobile had an overhead valve V8. The Hemi had just hit the streets. This stuff, flatheads and six cylinders, were still the bread and butter of most hot rodders at this point. So this was a pretty high-tech article. But this is a great comparison. Typical 60 connecting rod and large bore solid skirt racing piston compared to the Mercury rod and piston assembly. Check this out. There again, this is high-tech for 1951, guys. The Mercury piston versus the Ford 60 piston. Look at how, I mean, the Mercury is almost twice as big, it looks like. Huge difference. And you've got to remember, in 1951, you know, these guys were working with what they had. A Ford flathead, a 60-horse flathead, was not a powerhouse. The 60 was just not a high-horse, big engine. But there again, a lot of guys were still running sixes. But in 1951, to be able to afford an Olds, a Cadillac, or heaven forbid, a Hemi, that's like buying, you know, you'd have to find a wrecked new car in 51 essentially, because the Cadillac and Oldsmobile had only been out since 49. Hemi just came out in 51. Finding a wrecked brand new car with a good engine is the only way you got it, other than going and ordering one from the factory, which was unheard of at the time. Obviously, factory crate motors in today's world are commonplace. Back then, unheard of. So you had to have pretty good money to be able to afford that. And most guys didn't. But we do know some of the guys that did. We do know where a lot of those early Cadillacs ended up. And even some of those early Hemis, a lot of them ended up in coupes with dump tanks in the back. Yep, those guys could afford to buy a new motor out of an almost new wrecked Cadillac because they were making it up on the shine. But realistically, in 51, those were the guys that could afford to buy an overhead valve V8. Everybody else was working with old flatheads or working with 6-cylinders. So seeing that a quote unquote high tech article was on doing one of these flatheads was a pretty big deal in 51. There again, another comparison on the Merc flathead versus your basic flathead Ford 60. Look at the cams. Hey, there's Randy with a nut farm. Big difference in the camshafts as well. Oh, this next article is really cool. Oh, wow, that's great too. Okay, we're going to catch this next car, then we're going to get ready to wrap up because this next article after this is epic. Okay, hot rod of the month. Chop, channeled, competition coupe designed for safety on the strip and the straightaway. Okay, let's see what this thing says. Smooth flowing lines indicate both speed and beauty, particularly when they are incorporated in the design of an automobile. Bob Rounthwaite's 34 Coupe is an excellent example of the growing importance of aerodynamics in the eyes of the builders of straightaway machines. Aerodynamics in 51. 34 Ford Coupe, chopped and channeled. Okay? So far, the car has measured up well to its owner's expectations. It has turned 146.8 mile per hour at El Mirage and exceeded the 100 flat barrier at every drag race event in which it has been run. At Santa Ana, Bob timed in at 119, which with equally good times at other strips, 116, 112, 105. Whether or not aerodynamics enter into drag racing is a controversial subject. Roger from Australia stopping by again tonight. Glad you made it back again tonight, Roger. Glad you stopped back by. So there again, that statement in and of itself right there is crazy. Whether or not aerodynamics enter into drag racing is a controversial subject. Okay, today's world at 340 miles an hour in a funny car, I'm thinking aerodynamics has something to do with it, right? I mean, we know about downforce. We know about how critical the wings and the airfoils are on these cars. You know, when I'm hanging out with Palmer and his top fuel car and the downforce that those cars have to deal with and have to keep those things stuck to the ground. To read a statement that aerodynamics enter into drag racing as a controversial subject is crazy. Today, we know it's critical. We see the slow-mo films. We see what it does, and we see how it happens. On TV with the slow motion, you can see how it happens and how it affects it. So in 1951, they weren't even sure what it did or how it affected it. But this is such a great article. I got to share these pictures with you on this chopped and channeled 34 Coupe. Check this thing out. And the next part of the article even gets better. "304 cubic inches of much modified Mercury. Win 4-carb manifold, heads, Howard cam, and Harman Collins mag." And what is so cool, and this is a drawing, this is artwork. This is an actual drawing somebody sat down, looked at this car or looked at the pictures and drew this thing on a cutaway illustration. Oh yeah, check that out, guys. How cool is that? So you can see the shot of the engine down there. But I mean, think about what it took to sit down and draw this. Insane. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up right here on the centerfold spread on that 34 coupe. Because, man, this next article, that's going to take some time. That's super killer. Man, this is... yeah, this is cool. You guys are going to like the rest of this one. Stay tuned. More coming up. You're right, Kenny. It is like time travel. All right, as we get ready to wind things up, what's coming up next week on content? Public videos. One more video from my buddy's yard. And so I know some of you guys have been waiting on this. It's been a few months. It is shot. It is done. It is edited. It is uploaded. On the 1955 Ford mobile fuel truck. That video will be going public next week. We will do Toy Tuesday. Tuesday evening. Probably need to do some signs. I bet I've got 20 signs laying around that we haven't worked into Toy Tuesday. So we got to get a handful of those done. You bet, Kenny. I appreciate you guys being here, making it what it is. So that mobile truck, the full video will be coming on that. Glad you liked it, Austin. It is out for members. They have seen it. It is a cool truck. So stay tuned. That'll be coming up. We'll get some more new members videos up. And like I said, I was looking around and shockingly, I did buy some more signs last week. I got 3 more last Thursday. Haven't seen them yet. I've seen pictures of them. Dan from Defiance, glad you enjoyed it. So we'll probably try to squeeze some signs in for Toy Tuesday. And get your orders in for the Pappy merch so I can get that order put in. Still working on a few details for the gathering. I'm hoping to add 1 or 2 more things to that, but don't know quite yet how that's going to work out. Great Kitty, what are you doing? Thanks, Pete. As always, if you're thinking about the gathering, we're a month out. It's time to either, let us know, get in, get your slot reserved. We still have room. We got right around 20 people, so we got plenty of space. But if we do get full, we are going to cap it at 35. Thanks, Big Job. I appreciate that. The Johnny Carson comments still floor me. That you guys have even remotely considered what we do here to be of somewhat quality entertainment, but I do try. So counting the end of the day is all great. Austin, can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I learned a lot tonight. I'm not sure what you were saying. Well, hopefully at least a little bit sticking in there with you, Kenny. But with that, I think we'll go ahead and get ready to wind things down. I don't know what else I'm forgetting. I'm sure it's probably something, but not sure what it is. But anyway, sounds good, JP. I better be keeping an eye out. I had not seen that yet. And hopefully it doesn't storm here on the weekend of April 26th. That's all I'm worried about right now. With that, guys, have a great week. I hope to see you all right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Next Sunday night for some more interactive Gearhead live chat. Stay tuned for the Good night, Sam. Glad you were here. Stay tuned for the videos that are coming up this week. If you want to catch the videos early, be sure to jump in and join the membership groups. If you want to get into the training, jump into the NoBuddies Premier group with Bill and Pete as we're starting to go over more and more details about what I do and how I do it. I agree with that, Kevin. I don't want to see any more snow this year. I'm done with it, period, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, Have a great week, everybody. We'll see some of you Tuesday night. And if nothing else, we sure hope to see you right back here next Sunday night for some more NoBuddies Show interactive Gearhead live chat. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for watching.